Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So just like many of you, I spent the weekend playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I picked it up on day one and I played it all through the entire weekend, and I was hoping to get the game beaten so I can do a full-on review, but this is a very long game. Very long game, so unfortunately not going to be my full review. It's just going to be my first impressions. And if you've seen my thoughts on Final Fantasy 16, my first impressions and my final review can be completely different sometimes, so definitely look forward to the full review after I complete this massive game. But until then, sit back, smash that like and subscribe button, and let's hit it. So like I said, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth just like many of you guys the entire weekend, and I wasn't fortunate enough to beat the game, but I am about the halfway mark. Right now, currently, I'm sitting at 21 hours in the game, and I'm at the tail end of Chapter 8. So I'm right in that sweet middle part of the game. There's 14 chapters altogether, but I want to give you a rundown on my thoughts of the game so far. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, so you're going to see all kinds of different gameplay footage. This is gameplay footage of really the first 10 to 15 hours of the game. Nothing really spoiler heavy in those 15 hours. Coming off of Final Fantasy 16, many of you guys know how I feel about that game. It feels good to jump back into this world because this feels like Final Fantasy. You know, being able to go around with your party and the music and get to know these different characters. That was something I felt like I never got with Final Fantasy 16. Well, I never really got a sense of connection with these characters because we never really spent much time with the characters. Being able to have a party and a group and be able to switch out your characters, you really get to know and become attached to these characters. And that's one thing I really enjoy about not only this game, but also Final Fantasy VII Remake. So this game, of course, picks up right after Final Fantasy VII Remake. If you did not play Final Fantasy VII Remake, they do have like a little story so far video that you can watch, but I highly recommend play 7 Remake. Plus, it's a really good game. The best way I can describe this game right now is if you ever played Metal Gear Solid 5, Final Fantasy VII Remake is sort of the ground zero to the Phantom Pain, which is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. 7 Remake kind of feels like the prologue to 7 Rebirth. And of course, Remake is much bigger than Ground Zero. Ground Zero felt like basically just a tech demo. But really, when you look at the scale of it, everything from Remake was so small compared to what it is in Rebirth. I mean, right from the beginning, the map just opens up and you can pretty much just go anywhere and do all kinds of different things. And it comes very apparent that this is a much larger scale game compared to what we played with 7 Remake. It is a much bigger experience in this game, and it can be overwhelming at times, but there's all kinds of different things you can do. You can go and just continue with the story missions. You can go off and do all these different intel things. And the funny thing is, you go around and you look at these intel towers and stuff, and you think that this is just like busy work. It is really not, because you really get a lot of good stuff. It's very rewarding to actually go do these. You get more XP for your party, you get more XP for yourself, you get all kinds of different material and stuff. So it really makes it worth your while to go around and try to get these different things, which I actually spent a good like hour or two very early on in the game just kind of going around and getting all types of these different towers and type of intel, so I can just boost up my party, to be honest with you, then move on with the story. They have all types of different mini games. I know the one thing that everybody always talks about when it comes to Final Fantasy VII is there's so many mini games, and there's a lot of mini games in this game as well. And I really like the card game. Queen's Blood is the card game. Now, I'm a massive fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm a massive fan of Magic the Gathering. So you give me a card game, I'm down like Charlie Brown. And you get to do all the different types of card games, tournaments through the story mode. And I got to collect like booster packs and make my deck and stuff. I find that enjoyable. Now, that's not going to be for everyone. Some people are going to look at this and like, oh man, this is just padding to make the game longer. And I guess it could be kind of, but other than what it takes place in the story, most of it can just be skipped. There is a few moments where you have to do the card game in the story, but I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think you need to win the card game in order to progress through the story. I did because I like card games. Every time I lost, I just restarted. I kept going until I beat the guy. But I enjoyed playing the Queen's Blood card game, and I'm going around and collecting the different packs and stuff. I would love it if they make that online, though. I would love it if they patch it and you can play Queen's Blood against other people online, because that would be awesome. I love playing that card game, and I would like to be able to play against other people. I think that would be awesome. So Square Enix, get on that. So like I said before, I've been playing this game pretty heavily for the past few days, and I've been playing this thing everywhere. I've been playing this thing on my computer. I've been playing this thing on my couch. I've been playing this thing on my PlayStation Portal that I recently just picked up just for this game, because I want to be able to go lay in bed, sit on the couch, or do something and play this game. So I literally been playing this game every way possible, and to be honest with you, it actually works really great on the PlayStation Portal. Not that I'm reviewing the Portal right now, but man, it works great on the PlayStation Portal. But I've been playing this game like non-stop. And as for the story, there's really not a whole lot to talk about, because even though I'm like 20 hours in, there's really no twists and turns that have taken that's like, oh my god, I need to talk about this right now. It's pretty staying on course. There are some things that if you played the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake, that kind of factors in a little bit, especially if you played the Final Fantasy Rebirth demo. There's some things going on, but for the most part, you're going from town to town and you're just progressing through the story as the crew's just looking for Sephiroth. And that's sort of the way it goes. If you played the demo, you played 7 Remake, you're sort of on that course. There really hasn't been any swerves or anything at this point that is just like, oh my god. So I just kind of been playing the game, taking my time, and not trying to rush through anything, because I want to be able to make sure I hit every aspect of it. The leveling up system is much different than the leveling up system in the previous game with Final Fantasy VII Remake. They have these things called folios, which is like a sphere grid, whereas Final Fantasy VII Remake, you can level up different things. Like you level up your characters, you level up your sword, and you can have like a sword, once you get done leveling up, then it's stronger than the Buster Sword, where in this one it levels up itself, but the weapon itself levels up. It's really strange. It kind of threw me off. I recently played 7 Remake again, and the leveling up system is a little different in this one. So yeah, right now I'm just having a blast going through, playing the game. I will say this, however, I want to point this out. This is not to be negative on the review or anything, but there is a big image quality problem with this game. And that's just me speaking the truth. If you play this game on performance mode, you're going to get 60 frames per second, but the visuals are going to be very pixelated and soft. And if you put it on graphics mode, those pixelated, it's going to be much sharper. It's going to be much more sharper, but then you're playing at 30 frames per second. I can't play my games at 30 frames per second because it just looks too slow, too sloggy, and it actually looks worse. So I am sacrificing the quality of the image for the better performance for me personally. So I am playing on performance mode, but there is a massive difference when you're looking at the visuals of this game. When you have this thing on performance mode and you are like close up on the characters, it looks absolutely awful. They're very pixelated. It's very soft. People say it kind of looks like Vaseline is rubbed on it. It's very pixelated. Now for me, that's not a big problem. I have never been one that says, oh, I need to have the best looking, sharpest graphics of all time. As long as the game looks good, I'd rather take performance any day of the week. But I do know there are some people out there that are sensitive to the visuals and they want the best looking graphics. Unfortunately, let's be honest, this generation lied to us. They said we were going to get 60 frames, 4K in every game, and that's not true. We see Starfield come out, and Starfield visually looks good, but it's at 30 frames per second locked, where you look at games on the PlayStation, and they give you the option of, yeah, do you want 60 frames or do you want the 4K? But once you click on 60 frames, the graphics in those games fall down a lot. So this generation has really lied to the gamers when they promised we were going to get 4K 60. We did not get that, and there was very limited games that we got 4K 60 in this generation, and that was just a lie that both companies kind of told the consumer when they manufactured these consoles, like, yeah, we're going for 4K 60. That hasn't been true on any of the consoles. So I just kind of wanted to point that out there for people that might be very sensitive to the visuals. But other than that, The real key thing is, am I having fun playing the game? Yes, I'm having fun playing the game. I'm having fun playing the game on my portal. I'm having fun playing my game on my monitor, on my big TV. I'm having fun playing the game. More importantly, I'm having fun going on this journey, because I feel like I'm connecting with these characters. Like, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but that's sort of something that I had a problem with Final Fantasy 16. I wasn't able to connect with these characters. I'm able to connect with these characters in Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, because these are characters that I spent all this time with Remake, and even, you know, further games, whether it be Crisis Core or the original Final Fantasy 7. Like, it feels like you're home, and you feel comfort, and you feel like you're in a good, safe place, and you're going along on this adventure. And that's why this game is so phenomenal. So far, that's my first impressions, just playing the first 8 chapters, 21 hours into the game. So that's my first impressions. Again, my final review might be completely different. Go look at my Final Fantasy 16 first impressions and review, and just see how I completely just changed on that entire experience. But I want to know what you guys think. Thank you all so much for staying, watching the video. Please help me out. We're doing really good on the channel. We're moving up on subscribers. We can only do it with your help. So if you stuck around to the end of the video, I want to say, A, thank you very much. I appreciate you. And B, could you please just click that like and subscribe button. So tell me how you feel about Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Have you been playing it? Are you looking forward to picking it up? Leave those comments in the comment box below. And until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and thank you so much for watching.